Welcome back to Arsenal Report, just minutes after that Arsenal and Brentford match has finished. And you know what? Honestly, I came here prepared to say that I'm not too asked about what happens in the Premier League at this point, but it is a little disappointing to the fans to continuously watch this team not really give it's all to go out and win Premier League matches just because the season's up. I mean, yes, I understand the chances that we don't finish second, whether we're going up to first or down to third, are very low, but from a fan perspective, like taking 2 hours out of your day to watch the match and, outside of the transitional break that turned into a goal, nobody really working too hard. Even the players who don't start consistently, Zinchenko, like making next to no effort at any point during this match to make something happen, it was quite frustrating. Leandro Trossard looks completely lost. And I know last week I said something about how great Trossard is in those moments of brilliance, and I think he can still do that, but when you watch him starting a match from 90 minutes, he really, really doesn't bring anything to it. He has no ability off the ball, and he's really just more of a luxury center forward, left wing rotational piece that needs to get sold in the summer, and this match is exactly that. I mean, we didn't create almost anything with Trossard at striker. He cannot play as a false nine. He's best off playing kind of as that left winger or second striker coming off of a true striker where he can score from those very difficult positions. Nonetheless, a 1-1 draw. Some great performances. Saliba was absolutely excellent. One of his best matches, honestly, of the season. Just so comfortable in possession, constantly eating up space with the ball at his feet if they were giving it to him. Some unbelievable balls. That ball he pinged into Martinelli when he was making that run in between the center backs was one of the best Saliba has made all season. I thought Ethan Nwaneri looked really creative and at it tonight. Excellent. And obviously, nobody was better than Declan Rice in this match and how he's been over the past 3 months. Declan Rice is a top 3 midfielder in the world. The only other people in the current conversation with him right now are Pedri and Jude Bellingham. I don't even know if you want to call Jude Bellingham a midfielder. I mean, he's not anything like Declan Rice in terms of midfielders. Obviously, Rodri is hurt, so I'm not considering Rodri. You could maybe put Valverde in there, but truly, there are not 3 better midfielders in the world right now than Declan Rice. He's doing everything. Winning balls back, pressing high up the pitch, unbelievable ability to carry the ball and create goals, receiving on the half turn in the box and in and around the box, creating goals, scoring goals. He's the best set piece taker in the world and has added goal scoring from those set pieces, obviously in the Real Madrid match, on top of the fact that he's the best corner kick delivery in the world. Declan Rice is the most all-around midfielder in the world, bar none. He's a better defensive player than Pedri. He doesn't have the offensive ability of Bellingham, but he is better in that defensive side of the game as well. It's just unbelievable that we have a player of that skill at the club right now in that position. It feels like forever since we've had a midfielder who's truly a robust box-to-box midfielder, the way that, some of the best clubs in the world often are that way because of it. I mean, think about the likes of Madrid and everything they've done in Europe and how they've dominated Europe. It's been on the backs of Toni Kroos and Luka Modric for years. And, they had Casemiro, they had Xabi Alonso, a couple different sixes in there during those times. But any team that's dominated in Europe outside of the league and Champions League has been because of a Galactico type of midfielder, and that's what Declan Rice is. And we're going to be continuing to add to that midfield. It's unbelievable what it's going to be like when, Miles Lewis-Kelly's playing in midfield with Declan Rice, potentially Max Dowman playing in the Odegaard role in that midfield. We're looking at an all-English Galacticos midfielder. I mean, this is a midfield that could start for Real Madrid in 10 years. I'm not even, making that up. These are 3 players that combined together could create the best midfield in the world for a very, very long time. And for the likes of Miles and Ethan and Max to get to learn from Declan Rice, who is a leader, who is, he's confident in himself. He's always joking around. He's always smiling, loves to play the game. He doesn't play this game for anything but his love for it. You can watch it in the way he gallops and makes plays happen. He's an unbelievable midfielder, and it's just a joy to have him at Arsenal. And that brings us on to Jakub Kiwior, who I've had my doubts about for a long time, but he's now put in 4 very, very consistent performances, including against Real Madrid. And the way I look at it this summer is, if Kiwior is to go, let's say you get £20 million for him. If he goes back to the Serie A, I don't think you get more than 25. Who are you going to replace him with that's going to offer solid coverage, who can play left back and left center back, who is comfortable in this system, already knows the system, who's going to cost that much or less? So, yeah, I guess if you sell Kiwior for $25 million and you get Dean Huijsen for $50, To spend $25 million on Huijsen's not the, biggest outlay, but to me, Jakub Kiwior is good enough for Arsenal. He's good enough to be that rotational center back. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, even look at the likes of City when they were at their best. They had a center back or two who played some matches and were not necessarily best in the world, not necessarily top 20 in the world at their position, but they can dominate the ball the way that Arsenal need to dominate the ball. They can play in possession comfortably. They have enough recovery pace to play a high line. They cross enough boxes that for the 20 appearances they make in a season, maybe 10 to 12 starts, they get the job done. Even Otamendi at the end of his career for Man City, when he was clearly past it, was able to, continuing to put in good shifts. And as Kiwior gets more and more comfortable, gets more and more opportunities, I feel that he's plenty good to be that, alternative left center back to Gabriel, can slot in at left back when Miles eventually moves to midfield if Calafiori's injured. And he offers a lot of different things. And we've seen him play at right center back, and he's been okay there too. He's not great. Listen, he's not Saliba or Gabriel, and I think you have to take it in that position, right? Saliba and Gabriel, if we're all right, which I think we all are, the way that we feel about them being two of the best 10 center backs in the world, I think that's probably fair to say, then obviously the drop-off to Kiwior is going to be significant. That's the issue with having such good players is when they're not in, the drop-off is super clear. When it was Mustafi and Rob Holding and Mavropanos had to come in, it didn't feel like a massive drop-off because it wasn't nearly as big of a cliff. The cliff between top 10 and top 40 is massive, especially in center back because mistakes are so much more obvious when they're made and they're way more detrimental. Jakub Kiwior, assuming he puts in a good shift here against Real Madrid, I truly believe he is good enough to be that rotational option for Arsenal moving forward, and I'm excited to see how he does in the second leg at the Bernabeu. That will be his hardest match of his career. I mean, obviously, any Real Madrid match was going to be, but now going to the Bernabeu and, one early goal gets leaked in, and then it starts getting really tight and really nervy, and we're going to see what Kiwior is made of in that match, but he has deserved the right to be respected by the fans, and assuming he continues this, finish the season the way we've seen him play in the last few days, I feel confident that we should keep him this summer unless a massive bid comes in where it makes sense to try and replace him. And speaking of the plans for the summer, Gabriel Martinelli, who I spoke about a little bit yesterday in the Nico Williams segment, is really struggling, and it's a problem. He used to be a player to me who did everything simple but well. He did all the simple things really well, and that was if he had a bad performance, he was doing the simple things well. But I don't know if it's confidence, if it's injuries, if it's a lack of opportunity with the ball at his feet. He seemingly isn't doing the simple things well anymore. For him when he came across from Brazil, it was a bit of a center forward, and when he broke in, it was ball crossed in, one-touch finishes, just immediately getting the ball on goal, scoring goals, being in the right places, being in the counterattack transition-type player, super fast. Okay. They move him out to left wing. Then it was receive the ball on the end line, use your pace and ability to just go as far past as you can and whip in a cross. This is on his bad days. And the crosses were supreme. In that season where he had like 13 goals, 6 assists, the crosses were always creating danger. Now it feels like when Gabriel Martinelli gets the ball at his feet, he puts his head down, makes 2 dribbles, goes nowhere, looks up, has nothing, puts his head down, makes 2 dribbles, maybe gets around him, puts in a bad cross, loses possession. Even today, he received that ball from Saliba on that pass I talked about earlier. Took a great first touch, but didn't really ever get the shot off. He never corralled it enough to get the shot off. He just doesn't seemingly have anything in his mind to get it done. I mean, he hasn't scored a goal since January. He's got a goal contribution every 215 minutes this year. I mean, that's simply not good enough to start an attack for this team that needs to score 90 goals a season at least. In the Premier League, probably 100 if they're going to be, winning the league comfortably. That's not good enough from that attack. And yes, we're missing a center forward for a lot of this year, and that should help theoretically. Yes, the left-hand side dynamics have been somewhat of an issue for 2 years, but you bring another player in, they're going to do more than what Gabriel Martinelli is doing. Look at Bukayo Saka. No matter what, he's always making something happen, and he should have scored that goal today. I don't know what he was waiting for to shoot that ball when he took it off Flecken, but Martinelli just, I don't know. To me, he's a center forward. His best actions continuously come when he's in the center of the pitch. He doesn't get as isolated. Even if he has his head down, he's trying to make things happen. Solving the Gabriel Martinelli problem is buying a left winger and letting Martinelli, try and get some confidence back. if a Saudi bid comes in for 80 million pounds, I'm probably taking it for Gabriel Martinelli at this point and putting that into a new forward line. I love Martinelli. I love how hard he works. His defensive work is super, super good. But at this moment, he's simply not good enough for Arsenal. If we want to, the nostalgia and the love of the players only goes a certain length, and I have nothing but good feelings for Martinelli. But right now, the way he's played this year and the past 2 years, he's not good enough for Arsenal. And I'll be interested to see if that bid does come in, because it looks like there's going to be a 70 to 80 million pound bid that comes in for Gabriel Martinelli. If Arteta maybe thinks about taking that and then putting that back into the squad to, get two massive signings here in the forward line, and maybe a third that's more of a rotational piece just to add to it, because I'm just not sure Martinelli is an answer for us right now in attack. Thanks so much for watching Arsenal Report. We'll be back, of course, again on Monday with the next video previewing a little bit of that Real Madrid match. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like the content. Give us a like. Let me know what, if any, topics you want me to talk about on Arsenal Report, and we'll see you again next time.